saw this clip of KD, like just came on the timeline, just graced the timeline.
Okay.
Y'all gotta. What's that? How that song go? You got to know when to hold 'em.
Oh no.
Know when to fold 'em.
More goat talk.
No. Just he's walking in the arena. A fan calls him, and does not think that he'll turn around. So.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Oh
damn.
Yeah, no, right. It's crazy.
That's all of 7 feet right there. That's
yeah, 7 feet close. I ain't going.
Shake his hand. Yo, a gift.
Dab me up.
She said I didn't.
Do y'all hear what he's saying?
I know. Nah.
So, and it's kind of hard to make
Parks
out.
Is bugging, bro.
Shut up, so.
Yo, stop, bro.
You gotta stop. Literally, he's asking him about him calling him a bitch, and I ain't gonna lie. Somebody gonna say I'm racist. This is the white people thing. He said my best friend lifetime died 4 years ago on this day today. Kevin Durant is like, what does it have to do with you calling me a bitch? I don't understand none of that at all.
Well, you gotta understand, bro. I'm just upset.
Oh,
I watch your podcast.
Host a podcast. So you called him a bitch because you host a podcast, nigga? What?
Oh my god.
That really is Parks.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen this. I probably should just say this. So then they were gonna kick him out, but Kevin Durant came and saved them. Hold on, wait, what's the other clip? KD comes and saves their ass.
He said, "Don't act like something."
A bitch.
Yeah, he said, "Don't act like something, but let him rock." Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I think maybe we don't agree. Yeah, W ain't there. That's just. Would y'all kick bro out? I guess that's the question. Would y'all pack bro the fuck up?
Hell, this after the excuse. And mind you, that's my first time seeing
that
it.
nigga said, that nigga did say, "Yo, my friend died that day," or I have a podcast. For me, I didn't hear that part. I heard I have a podcast though. I was kind of tight.
I would have kicked him out if I had the power.
100%.
Fuck him 100%.
First of all, I'd have kicked him out. I'd have kicked him out, and I'd have got the security guard sitting right there looking lost fire too. Because nigga, you heard what the fuck he said. He was sitting right behind you, literally right behind the security guard when he said it. Then he go over to security. What happened, Kip? What's going on? Yeah, nigga, you're fired.
You sure he called you a bitch, Kev?
You're looking like nah, gang. Like you're out of there too, my guy.
I'd have let him rock.
Nah, I'm gonna kick him out and have a generational game. Fuck him. You ain't gonna see it either, nigga.
I'm dropping 82 that night.
I'm dropping 80. I'm trying for 82. Don't care what the numbers look like afterwards. I am going for 80 motherfucking 2.
That nigga's petty as hell.
Fuck him.
Nah, it is. Fuck him. Well, I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. I don't know. I just wouldn't give a fuck. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at putting him out of there, bro. Bro did call me a bitch and then go, "Oh, I got a podcast." I don't.
Then try to gaslight me with his dead black friend in his podcast. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
And that's why you a bitch. Like, all right, bro.
Yeah, you understand why I called you a bitch on this day.
My dead friend called you a bitch one time we was playing 2K. I was here to commemorate his memory. Like, all right, bro.
You want to know what the last thing I called him? A bitch. Like, bro.
My bitch is different. I got a different type of bitch when I call people a bitch. It's not offensive. Like, all right, bro.
Lingo. It's provocative.
It's culture. All right, dog.
Yeah, you don't get
keeps the people going. All right.
Really, that's what I call my wife right here. She's a fat bitch. You don't see.
Never called his friend a bitch.
Kevin, high five.
The girl was funny too.
Kevin, no one called you a bitch. I just want a high five.
You're not gonna. Come on,
Kevin, come on.
She can go to fuck, bruh.
I want to talk about our friend of the show, JJ Redick.
I'm out of town. I'm thugging with my round.
New media.
we got to get back into the swing of things no more, man. We ain't got the chat over here on StreamYard no more. We got the random alerts.
Shit just changed.
Nah, yeah. I definitely had to open that second tab. I just had my head down, did that.
Was it better?
It was conveniency. It's not about better or worse.
Pulling up the chats. It was a back in the old day. It was nostalgic. That's what it was. It was nostalgic.
Did y'all bring up like subs and shit? Shout out to you for the resub.
Nah,
Can't do that still.
And honestly, they don't care about none of that. So
I didn't even know the subs were working. I thought they were broke.
So JJ Redick, we did, and nobody cared. I ain't gonna lie. JJ Redick was on First Take episode February 20th, and this is what he had to say about friend of the show, Doc Rivers.
I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. Then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. There's never accountability.
Well, let me say a couple of things. Number one, that's a very serious thing to say, and we should take it serious. Because we should take it serious.
You can take it serious.
He seemed pretty serious.
Let me finish. We should take it serious. Play for him. So for you to say something like that, it matters. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to say this because Doc Rivers needs to hear, and I got love for him, but he needs to hear this. Okay, just go out there and coach, because here's the deal: you were in an advisor's role in Milwaukee. Now you head coach. You brought that up, and the more you talk about how difficult this is, the more it brings attention to. Wait a minute. Nobody's trying to hear that. Got the job, go win. Go win. Yeah. It's just that simple, because it didn't happen in LA all of those years. Didn't happen in Philadelphia. And now, I've said this, JJ, the second he got the job. If Doc Rivers doesn't, I'm not talking about because he came in there halfway through, but if Doc Rivers between this year and next season doesn't win, I think it'll be his last head coaching job in the NBA.
Man, we said that last time, bro.
We said that, man. We said that like 5 times ago. I ain't gonna lie. That boy told Doc, the best advice I can give you is to win games. All right, bro.
No, he didn't even say that. He said, just coach.
Just coach. just keep clocking in.
Now, this comes off the heels of Cock Rivers doing exactly what we told him to do. Exactly what we told him to do. Coach. We said, no. We said on this podcast that we should go, or coaches should go on different platforms and just tell the truth. They should just spill the beans, let people know their actual absolute perspectives, be truthful, call people out, because coaches are the first ones to blame. Their heads are always on the chopping block, et cetera, et cetera. And so he does that. Doc essentially does that. And I'm about to play the clip. But I'm not going to lie. What makes this so bad is that Doc Rivers doesn't have too many fans left. Like, from his ex-player's perspective, JJ Redick was like one of the last guys. He was one of the last guys that was a true, legitimate fan of Doc Rivers. But it looks like he just lost him. Let me see if I can find these comments. But let me riff for a second. How do y'all feel about what JJ said before I play his stuff?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, from part 1 of the feud, it's like, if I don't know how much Doc is necessarily pushed off. We're about to find that out. But if Doc is just out here not taking any accountability, that's just one of them things where you don't realize you're the common denominator. And I don't like that. Like at the end of the day, I ain't had a hug since 2nd grade. I can talk about how this girl was a hoe. I can talk about how this girl just wanted bread. I can talk about this girl's having Twitter brain, all that shit. But eventually, if there's something wrong with everyone else but me, take a look in the mirror, gang.
From everything that I've seen, and maybe this is a little bit too far into the convo right now, I just find it very ironic, I guess, that everyone who has tried to counter JJ has not countered his point whatsoever. It has all been about, oh, JJ, you played for this guy. How could you say that? And the closest thing to actually attacking the point is what Austin Rivers said, but even he didn't really attack the point. Like, he brought up a different point. So, and the only clip that I seen from Doc Rivers was literally him detailing his coaching history and blaming everyone else. He was like, yeah, I mean, when I was with the Clippers, I mean, I blew a 3-1 lead, but people don't want to talk about how Chris Paul was injured the first 2 games. First 2 games? You bringing up the first 2 games when you blew a 3-1 lead?
First 2 games, a 3-1 lead. That nigga said we really should have swept them. Right, bro,
the only thing he said, I forgot what he said about the Orlando days, but he was like,
I got the video up.
Yeah.
Second, but you finish your point.
Yeah, no, it was just funny to me that JJ may be wrong, but all I've seen is nothing has really attacked this point for real. So he's right till he's wrong. I don't know.
Let me play this before you. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, I just wanted to get it out before before the clip started. I have no issue. Hold on, the mic is too far. I have no issue with what Doc did. I believe, hey man, coaches need to go out there and blame somebody because, I mean, everyone blames them. Anytime something goes wrong, the coach is quick to get blamed. So and all I hope is that he's being honest about if he is blaming somebody, because I haven't seen all of the clip. I seen him talking about it for real, and I seen the comments around it. So I don't even know necessarily what exactly he said or who he blamed. All I would hope is, outside of the Chris Paul thing, which is crazy, you blaming game 1 and 2 when you blew a 3-1 lead. Insane. But if he's blaming attitudes or locker room stuff or anything where it's like we didn't know that, I'm all for it. And I also want to say JJ is speaking strictly from a ex-player's perspective, an ex-player of the God's perspective. That was not ESPN JJ. That was
not at all.
former Clipper JJ. That was livid with him. So
I ain't ever missed the playoffs, JJ. Shit.
Yeah, that was a different JJ. So even though I feel like JJ was on the right, I don't think Doc was wrong. Go ahead.
Let's get into the meat and the potatoes, the actual meat and potatoes. This is where it kind of starts. Doc Rivers talking about how he got his job in Milwaukee.
Personally, I'll be honest. I told our owners when they called, I said, I think I don't understand why you're doing this. And they said, one of the things they said was, well, it doesn't matter. We've done it now, and
oh my god,
we want you. And so that was a tough one. That's where you had the hesitation. Personally.
Now, I've heard stories about Doc Rivers in the past, specifically about like from Ty Lue. And I just assumed he was a realer. He was a real one. Like he was a realer nigga than this, basically. Don't take that job. I know it's a lot of money to turn down. I know it's a lot of, you might get a lot of heat, a lot of backlash. Don't take that job. If you truly are genuine about that's my friend. That is a guy that I've consulted. He's one of the black coaches I'm looking out for, et cetera, et cetera. Don't take that job. But that's just me. That's my perspective. He goes on in that same interview to act like he was right about everything. Did y'all know that he told the Clippers to trade for James Harden?
He also consulted the Clippers, apparently. Yes.
Yeah.
Told the Clippers. Wait. He told the Clippers to trade for James Harden as he's the coach of the Sixers.
Hey.
Oh, so he knew he was done. That's crazy.
That's
he
Doc
knew
Paul,
he was
bro.
on the way out. That's wild.
That's Docstradamus. Now, mind you, hold on. It gets even crazier. It gets even crazier because he also looked at Kawhi and said, "This is when he was coaching the Clippers. Hey, are you sure you want to get Paul George? We have this Shea Gilgeous-Alexander guy."
There's an imposter among us. There's an imposter among us.
Is that real? He said that?
That's real. That's what he said.
Emergency meeting.
Nah, that's the one I didn't see.
He said Doc Rivers revealed he attempted to influence Kawhi Leonard's perspective on SGA, his potential. I even brought it up to Kawhi. Are you sure? I think Shea is going to be an amazing player. It may take a year or two, but I think you're underestimating how good Shea is going to be.
Damn, he's so misunderstood, bro. He's been dry jacked.
Low key, I like this. So this goes to the theory of, hey man, these players really be out here playing GM, man. Unless he lying, unless Kawhi come out and tell the media that's not what happened. I mean, is Doc a liar? If you think Doc's a liar, cool, Omar. Think Doc's lying. But me personally, that nigga ain't lied to me.
Hey, that's a different perspective.
I think we blame coaches too much.
You know who named him a lie on
front
too?
office players?
You know who named him a lie on? Kawhi Leonard. He ain't never gonna come out and say, damn thing.
This is my city now. All right, dog.
Yeah,
single billboard when I was out there.
That
buddy.
was the name to say. Yeah, I was trying to talk to him.
That was a big brain play
wasn't
right there.
responding, bro. I don't know.
That was a big brain play by Doc. I ain't gonna lie. If he is lying, you picked a good lie, my nigga.
Shit, I was talking to Zubac the other day, and
he said, Zubac. Like Paul George would have went on his podcast and talked. You know, James a bitch. He talk every day, so you know it is what it is.
SGA would have talked one day.
Yeah,
he only like 24.
But you know who's not gonna talk?
Kawhi
Leonard.
Kawhi about to pop out in 20 years on the podcast. Y'all remember that season where Doc just got halfway through the season, got his job? I know he lied, right? He ain't never talked to me about SGA.
Oh my god.
So some of this stuff is what caused JJ. I'm trying to go through it.
4-year-old, bro.
Some of this stuff is what caused JJ to just jump off the porch like that and talk about his accountability. Mm-hmm. Now they pulled up the Carfax on Doc. I ain't gonna lie. When they say he doesn't hold himself accountable, this is what they meant right here.
I wish y'all would tell the whole story with me. All right. My Orlando team was the 8th seed. No one gives me credit for getting up against the Pistons who won the title. That was the 8th seed. I dare you to go back and look at that roster, and you would say, "What a hell of a coaching job." The Clipper team that we lost. Chris Paul didn't play in the first 2 games and was playing on one leg. And we didn't have home court. And then the last one, to me, is the one we blew. That's the one I said, we blew that. And that was in the bubble. And anything can happen in the bubble. There's no home court. You know, but it just happened. Wish y'all would tell the whole story.
Oh, you didn't say no. I ain't gonna lie. Round 2 goes to JJ Redick because I'm not gonna lie. He pulled not even what like we be doing sometimes. He just literally said, "Okay, this is every reason why I'm gonna say it's not my fault." But shit just be happening, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like no, bro. You perfectly explained the flaw. And then the counter to the flaw was that team was just that damn good. Like, I don't know, bro. The Pistons were just that good. Like, what do you want me to do? When we blew the 3-1 lead, well, it's not like we swept them. Chris Paul was down. What do you want me to do? When that other time we blew a 3-1 lead. M-I-C-K-E. Like, shut up, Doc. I ain't gonna lie. Shut up, Doc, man. That's crazy. Game too good as JJ.
It's one thing to sit there and say, "Oh man, I mean, we didn't have home court advantage." No one talks about that. We went up 3-1, but we didn't have home court, so it was adversity.
Maybe.
If you want to say that, if you're a person that believes in home court advantage, fine. I'll listen to you argue. I am not about to listen to a coach sit there and say, "You know what? No one give me the credit for? Happened to 8th seed and coaching good, nigga. What?" He was the 8th seed. No one talks about that. No one talks about how good of a coach job I did for a team that's 8th seed. Nigga, that is your job. That is you wanted credit for doing. I take care of my kids. Good job, nigga. That's what you're supposed to do. You want credit for what you're supposed to do? No. What are we talking about? You want to add a boy for coaching an 8th seed? That's how you know he is. If there's one nigga that listens to the media and social media's perception of him, it's fucking Doc Rivers. Because that was a shot at everyone. Bro, you can go back to the Magic days. He ain't never been shit. I was coaching the 8th seed No one talks about. Like, all right,
Nah,
There's not some Clipper series that he's forgetting because didn't they lose?
there's tons of them.
he talked about 1 year with the Clippers. He talked about one series.
Yeah, and then also weren't
He
they
Lost to
lost
the
to Corey
Rockets.
Brewer and Josh Smith. What are we doing?
weren't y'all up in Boston a couple times on Miami and they came back? I think it was like 3-2 though. But
Yeah, game 6, that was a closeout game for us, and LeBron dicked us down. Like, yeah.
I'm just presenting it. I just don't know.
Game 7, 2010, Game 7 in the finals. That was winnable.
Well,
Too much on
Wrong
Josh Smith.
taste.
No. Way too much on Josh Smith and fucking Houston. Like, no, bro, no. That game, I feel like some of y'all too young, bro. That game was nuts.
well, like I said earlier, he doesn't have too many defenders. If you ever listen to All the Smoke, Matt, that's one reason why I do like listening to All the Smoke. Matt Barnes do not care. Okay. The other players on the team, I've heard DJ say a couple, little slight jabs, Blake or whatever. Now JJ,
I think Pierce and KG are still Doc fans.
they're pretty. They are still pretty high on him. But you know who's always gonna be high on him? Room on that Yamaha, chromed out 1100. What I'm doing, getting money. What we doing, getting money. Right? What they doing, hating on us, but they never cross. Cash money still accompanying. Bitch, I'm the boss, and I'm just stunned like my daddy.
That was a nasty way to-
You know his son's gonna come to his defense.
Good.
Don't be talking about my pa, right? Oh, I can't really play this like this. I can't play that like that. Oh.
First off, I don't feel responsible to take up for my dad. He's a grown man. He can do his own thing.
You proceed to go on a 2-minute monologue. You don't feel responsible for your daddy.
In this regard, I just simply don't agree with it. For someone who's not accountable, he seems to always be held responsible, considering he's the guy that's always fired when things don't go right. He got fired in the bubble for a 3-1 lead versus the Denver Nuggets, which in half his team didn't want to be. Mine wasn't there. He had guys.
Is this what
You're down that second half. You're down, but you got second half. Let's get it going. Let's it's not a blowout. It's not a blowout. 10-point lead. 10-point lead.
Leave. That happened. Then he gets fired for losing to a team that was favored over him, which was the Celtics last year. It seems like he's always responsible.
All right, bro.
It's just as strange coming from JJ. And I have some love for JJ. You're my dookie. You know that. You're my bro. I love you. It's just your best years were with the Clippers. I don't think he saved your career. I appreciate you, Pat. But I don't think it – I mean, this just seems a little bit weird. They're 3-7. Dame has missed most of those games. Middleton's missed a lot of those games. They haven't even had their full team yet. We'll see what happens. The pressure is there. They do have to perform. But in terms of accountability, like, what are we doing here? Your best years in the NBA were when you played for him in the Clippers. Let's not forget that. I don't know if there's like frustration there or there's tension there between you. I know a lot of times we had to sit you towards the end of the game due to defensive reasons.
Not
I
too
give him
much
a game.
now.
I give him a game.
Not too much now.
Hey, hold on. I told you the game went over. That's 2-1.
You got to slide that in there.
If you see how this plays out, I
That's
don't know if you're able to
said
take
a
away
game. I
games.
ain't say the
But
series. I said a game. He ain't get swept. He
says I know the outcome, but it just hits. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey.
in the moment, yeah.
What do I say about Jonah and them motherfuckers? Hey, sometimes you just gotta be fucking funny. And in this case, hey, that was
low key.
Whoa.
Low key, it's gonna sound crazy, but you know how people on Twitter, like, if you arguing with a fat person, all they're gonna say is, "Yeah, but you're fat," and it really don't be here. But then sometimes it's like, damn, I ain't
Until
gonna
they make AI pictures.
Yeah, they got you.
Yeah.
They got you. Let me keep playing it though. I ain't gonna lie, they got him.
But you had your best years as a starter there, especially our whole system was drafted around you because you're a shooter. You're not a guy who could put the ball on the floor. You were a strictly shoot guy. You're not like Klay Thompson or Steph who could put the ball on the floor. You were a guy who could catch and shoot. And you did it at a high level. Hell of a career, by the way. Big fan. But your best years were under him. It's just very ironic and kind of weird that you have this energy towards him in terms of him never, ever being accountable, considering he's always been responsible.
Oh, God. Nah, I would defend my daddy, too. I ain't gonna lie. I really don't smoke for Austin Rivers. I'm defending my dad. Fuck all y'all bitches. Okay?
No more games played, or we got more clips?
No,
we got more clips. All right, yeah, 2-1.
Here's game 6, game 7. We're in game 6, game 7.
Give me your new challenger. Sage, give me your
Here comes a new challenger.
So not only does Doc have his son, you gotta have your son, man. If you don't got your son, he ain't got nobody.
Okay.
You Joe Jackson.
In comes the teacher's pet. Now, look. Not too much on Mr. Johnson. What the fuck?
Yo, this guy right here.
This guy missed the podcast, bro. I swear.
So Pat Beverly really was the first one to fire back, right? Pat Beverly was really the first one to fire back. And I think the tweets came before the podcast clip, if I'm not mistaken. His tweets came before his podcast clip, and then he went on the podcast, right? I think that's the story, the timeline. So Patrick Beverly gets on, Patrick Beverly gets on Twitter to respond to JJ or whatever the case may be, and he says, "This is the right one. This is the right one." It's not the right one. I think that was not AI porn. He says, "This man Doc actually saved your career.
Oh shit!
Started you when no one else wanted to, and you retire, go on TV and say that at JJ Redick." Now, I'll personally say this is some projecting from Pat Beverly.
Hey, I'm gonna call it a 5-point first quarter lead. We call him a little lead. Let's see if he loses it.
Is totally a fringe NBA guy, like
100%,
hanging on by a super thread.
You value that, especially the way he got drafted. He'd be the type to value.
Not even that. Even in the peak of his career, where you could argue, and was he on those Clipper teams when Doc was coaching? Doc was there when he was.
I think the year before Kawhi and PG came, that was like the Patrick Beverly, Lou Will Clippers. Crazy.
Crazy.
Oh no, that might be Ty Lue coaching. Right? No, I think it was Doc. I think it was Doc.
The bubble, he was definitely on that team, and Doc was there.
I was talking about like the hay years.
Yeah, you're talking about 2017-18 or 18-19?
2017-18 is what I'm talking about.
Let me see. So at 17, when was that playoff year? I know what you're talking about. Oh, 18-19. Sorry, he was. Oh, hold on. Sorry, says
he was on it. He was on it from 17-18, 18-19.
He was there.
He was.
So Doc was there the whole time. What I was getting by that was saying the way that Pat is talking to JJ Redick. I agree with Omar. I feel like projecting because it feels like Pat is talking to a nigga he views as himself, and he's talking to him in the lens of how Doc probably did his career. Because pretty fair to say, Pat, when Doc was starting you, nigga, no one else wanted to start you. That niggas hated Pat Bev. Like I don't like. He was always one of those. Oh, if he's on your team, you love him. If you're going against him, you hate him. A lot of niggas was not trying to start Pat Bev. Like he was a cool little role player, scrappy little guy, play some defense.
Little guy's crazy.
But I mean, I can say that I'm taller than him. But
oh my god,
I'm just saying, you're talking about yourself, and I don't think that you should be talking to JJ the way you're talking to him, buddy, because JJ was not in that situation. Like I think JJ could have went other places and still started, buddy. I don't know about that.
Well, Damo, JJ Redick also agrees with you because he follows that up with, Pat, my guy, I had a 4-year offer with player options for the same money to be a starter for a different team.
Fuck and out. We come out of the half. JJ takes an 8-point lead. What a swing. Oh, is that the end of the game? Oh, Jay, that's
no. There's more.
No.
Okay.
Master class incoming, buddy.
Okay,
you know. Hey. It is about to be crazy because my guy JJ is never done. So that part happens, right? And then Pat Beverly, he's gonna keep going. He got to get his get back. He has got to get his get back for this one. He goes on his podcast, with Roan, with his white guy, and sits down with RJ. Of course, they got to talk about it. You guys know they got to talk about it, right? Right.
I think they do the pod and upload the same day. That's what makes this shit funny.
This messy ass. What the hell?
Stupid asses.
I fuck with him. I fuck with RJ.
This drama for him, man.
RJ's hilarious.
Nah,
RJ's
they
hilarious. person.
stupid.
So you know my guy, the analytics man, JJ says, luckily the cameras in the arena have better eyes than you. 289 half-court matchups, 21 for 56 shooting by Harden as contesting defender, 38% field goal percentage, 43 EFG, 0.94 points per direct ISO allowed on 37 ISOs. And if I guess that's getting torched. And if I'm not mistaken, that's when James was like flirting with 1 point something or whatever in the regular season. But I guess that's getting torched.
That's oh man, that if there's no respond there, that's a 5-game series for JJ Redick, ladies and gentlemen. I will be honest. I feel like the naysayers of JJ, they pulled a lot of good cards. They had a couple of gotchas, but that's what I talk about when I say gotchas go too far. Because one, we never talked about Doc's accountability. At some point, this turned into the career of JJ Redick. And he was like, my career doesn't suck. I don't know what we're doing. Like, my career is not bad, actually. A lot of people kept signing me, kept offering me teams, roster spots because they wanted to go to the playoffs, which I'm capable of doing. And not that he's like fucking LeBron or anything, but, you know, that's very impressive. I'm hearing that he has a video as well. He is definitely up 20 at half if Game 5 isn't concluded. And if the video cooked, then wallahi, you know my answer. But I just think from what I've seen from Doc Rivers and what I've heard of him essentially throwing players under the bus afterwards, I mean, he threw the people that hired him under the bus. So far, I have to say that it seems to be somewhat true. I don't know the man, but it does look to be true. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I like the coaches commentating on stuff when they're retired. But hey, it makes for some good drama when they active too. I ain't gonna lie, it makes for some good drama when they active. But I really was talking about when they retire. If we were referencing the old pod.
The only bail I'll throw Doc Rivers right now is because I said this when the initial criticism came out. Is the same bail I've thrown even Darvin Ham and Joe Mazzulla to a certain extent, bro. Like when you hire someone in the middle of the season, like that it's a big adjustment for the whole team to just adapt to this new coach in the middle of the season. You know, try to adapt new systems and all of that stuff. So I still believe that's the case with Doc Rivers. And doing that halfway through the season, let alone like this is your first time with this crew specifically, is a tougher task than a lot of other tasks out there for coaches. But in terms of everything that JJ said, I mean, he backed everything up. You know, I'm a big fan of backing up your takes with data and analytics and explaining why you believe the way that you do, and he did exactly that. So can't really say JJ Redick was wrong in this regard.
I just felt in this situation, one, JJ cooked every chance that he got. I don't like how everyone who rebutted, whether they were saying things I agree with, thought was funny, or whatever the case was, no one stuck to the point of what JJ was talking about. Yeah. Even when Austin Rivers was defending his dad, I've never understood. I didn't understand when he was saying it. I'm sitting here thinking about this entire time. I don't know how he wasn't held accountable when he was deemed responsible. Yeah, motherfucker, because he didn't hold himself accountable. Everyone else said he's responsible for what was going wrong. Though just because niggas deem you responsible don't mean that you held yourself accountable. What are we doing? So off the rip, we are talking two different things. It reminds me of a Twitter space. People just harping on the wrong things to be right against somebody. Like, you don't want to address the problem because you don't know, or you don't have an argument, or they're actually telling the truth. So you harp on something very small and minuscule, or you create something, you fabricate something like, I don't know, man, they should have started Jamal Crawford instead of you, if we're being honest. No, nigga, you're lying. We're not being honest. You're lying right now if we're going to act like that was the right coaching decision to start again, ladies and gentlemen, start on a team with Chris Paul as your point guard, start the on-ball ISO 2 with no defense over the off-ball mobile catch-and-shoot three-point shooter with no defense. Demon narratives, what the narratives are, because he showed them stats. James Harden was not cooking him. But it would make sense to get the guy that fits better with Chris Paul So no, we're not being honest right now. Niggas are telling lies. Niggas is making up stuff to argue or whatever it is. The shit's sad, and I can't wait. And you said JJ had a video stage, like JJ's talking about.
Yeah, according to chat was saying JJ had a response.
He has a 5-minute video. We don't need it. I'm about to say we don't need
Oh
it.
no, don't worry about it. I know what I'm watching on stream tomorrow because I can't wait to game cook.
Yeah, follow only Damo97 on Twitch if you want to see that response to that video.
Facts.
Yeah,
Also, Jordan Poole got benched tonight. I've seen that on time.
Oh, I was going to a Wizard game soon, bro. Oh no, I gotta watch.
Still the 6th man. Nothing's changed.
Oh no.
And we're gonna stay on the theme of coaches getting baked in their rebuttals because Gilbert Arenas and the guys, specifically Kenyon Martin, responded to George Karl recently. I think I'll say this to give Doc Rivers this bit of grace. We said it last time we had this coaches conversation. I even think coaches are sick of getting the full brunt of the force. They just are, for getting fired, for getting blamed, for players being able to come out and spin this revisionist history about certain things. Although it is an excuse, I totally agree with what Austin Rivers said. Now, they were up in the bubble, but I totally agree, especially after Lou Will comes out and says, yeah, we didn't want to be there. Like a collective of us. We didn't want to be there. We wasn't focused. I was trying to get to the strip club as fast as possible. Shit, y'all was locked down. Atlanta wasn't locked down. So I didn't want to be here playing no basketball. I didn't play basketball my whole life. So I think that there is some credibility to that. And right, Doc Rivers shouldn't get 100% of the blame. And I think it is hard to do, and it is tiring after a long time where somebody just blames you. Now you want to flip it and just try to take as much off you as possible. But the middle ground exists. Doc, you hold some blame. Players, you also hold some blame. But with that if that statement is true, that means you have to acknowledge that you do hold some blame. But Damo's right. I like going back and rewriting that history, boy. I ain't gonna lie. I told him about SGA. Not gonna lie, I told him about SGA. So it is what it is.
But even in that press conference where he was like detailing his history, I know we were laughing at the time, but ultimately I think what he was trying to get away, I think he just worded it very poorly, was yes, like there is blame for me and I understand why y'all are blaming me, but damn, it's like y'all don't look at any of the good shit that I did. So I think that's his overarching point that was missed, but which I do agree. A lot of people, especially when you underachieve every single year, the focus is always on like when you choke. But people never talk about the first 3 games when you were dominating, you leading and coaching this team to a 60-win team perennially, which in my opinion is still a sign of a good coach. Maybe just not a championship coach. He can still be overrated, but to me, Doc is still a good coach at the end of the day. Hot take, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Damn all that one credit for what you do right shit. You get that every once a year when you meet up with the 08 Celtics to have your annual dinner. That's when you get your flowers, buddy. Other than that, your career I promise you, no one just talks about when Jerry West won. If they talk about Jerry West, they're gonna bring up the non-losses. That gets brought up. You talk about it because it's a glaring issue in your legacy. Of course, your legacy isn't only the underachievements, but when you stack the roster of players that you have coached or had the potential, you talked your way out of Tim Duncan, buddy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You talked your way out. You messed up you getting Tim Duncan in Orlando. So if you
that's not crazy, that's too much, Damo. That part is too much. Yeah,
it's not. But if you stack up the roster and the talent of players that you had compared to a lot of these other coaches, man, stop it. We're not about to sit here and just look at the good. No, nigga, because there's a lot of bad here. It's one thing if it's disparity between the good and the bad. You got a lot of good and a lot of bad. Nigga, you got a little bit of good and a whole lot of bad. I don't know what you want to. We'll talk about a little bit. How about that? We'll talk about all your little achievements. Not little achievements. I don't want to say your little achievements. Championship. We'll talk about your achievements a little bit more than we have before. But
that's all he's saying, though. That's my thing. That's all he's saying. He's not saying to just talk about the good shit now. He's just like, yo, acknowledge it. It's not all bad. That's all he's saying.
But that's my thing, though. When we talk about Doc, I ain't gonna lie, unless I'm mistaken, and it's like I somewhat disagree with, like, not what everybody's saying, but just a wee bit, because I feel like we do talk about what Doc does well. The narrative around Doc Rivers is that he can win you 50 games, he can win you 60 games, but you can't trust that man to contain the lead. You can't trust the man to win when he's favored, and you damn well can't trust him to come back when he's not favored. And you just, like, come postseason time, he's one of those ones. I think everybody knows that when your team hires Doc Rivers, you're likely trying to win a championship, and he's going to be able to get you to the dance. I don't think people think that Doc Rivers can't get you to the playoffs. I think the narrative with Doc Rivers is once you get to the playoffs, you're just gonna fucking wet the bed for no reason. I mean, that's pretty consistent with his whole career, multiple 50-win, 55-win seasons, and he can't get it done. I think even in situations like the bubble, where me and Omar disagree there, I ain't gonna lie, man. There's some level of coaching that goes into, hey, getting your players in the right mindset. You couldn't get them boys to lock in for a game. I can't do it. I'm not gonna lie. I hear them. I know it's definitely true. If Lou Williams himself were going to talk about it, if JJ Redick, Austin Rivers, I know they weren't necessarily there, but, like, you know what I'm saying? I get it's true, but, like, man,
but
y'all got to lock in, bro. Y'all got to lock in.
What we saying is, Sage, you tell me to lock in, see if I lock in. I done been in that position.
Oh, yeah. It's not all his fault, but when he plays a part in that, and then he plays a part in 3-1 lead and another 3-1 lead and 2-1 lead, and got going on with Milwaukee. It's too many times where you're at fault here, where I'm gonna go, oh yeah, for sure. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, who else? Well, I'm not gonna blame that fucking Clippers team. Paul Pierce, KG, all these players for sure. I don't know why the fuck when it's Doc Rivers names, we don't just go out the way and be like, yo, you blew like what the fuck up with you? Like, we only talk about Doc Rivers. Kawhi blew a 3-1 lead. Nobody like talking about that. But at the same time, Doc, you is the common nigga. I ain't gonna lie.
I think what Bezos is saying is right. He just wants you to say the full story, which, you know, and we'll talk about this in a little bit too, right? Like right after this Kenyon Martin, George Karl thing, is that everybody has narratives bias, and specifically depending on where you get your sports analysis from, they don't talk about the good a little bit. They don't talk about, you know, they are strictly gonna stay on the bad.
On live television, that's true.
So I just want to make that clear. Let's tune in to some more coach hate with a friend of the show, Kenyon Martin.
Oh,
force him scared of him.
Well, fuck George Karl.
Yo,
let's get that out the way. Like, fuck him and the horse he rode in on. Like,
type shit.
If he's not writing this, then somebody is, and whoever's writing it need to fucking chill. Like, talking about somebody bringing up old shit. Like, you the only, like, motherfucker that wrote a book. Like, all this started, didn't nobody have nothing to say about dude till you wrote the book. And we was living our lives, man. Like, when I found out about the bullshit book, I was at the gas pump getting ready to take my daughter to Disney for her birthday. I would call that first thing in the morning about this shit. So bringing up old shit, like, no, bro. And so yeah, me and Melo was there the whole time. Like, we was there when George got the job, right? We started the year, we had Jeff Bisdell. That didn't go well. He was there the year before. They hired Michael Cooper. We didn't do well under Coop. Bring George in. He had a reputation of, winning, and just a few other stops he had been. But also, you also heard, like, just the rumblings around about who he is and how his players and him interact or lack thereof. So you hear that stuff, but how can a guy that was in the third pick in the draft that should have won Rookie of the Year, that led his team to the playoffs as a rookie, you come in his second year, how is that guy overrated when you get there? Yeah, no, these are facts, bro. I was. This is real time, dog. I was there, so you ain't got to look that shit up, Gil. I was there. Okay. Right? No, I was there. Right? Melo's in the second year when George got the job. 20 games in when George got the job. Led his team to the playoffs the year before as a rookie. And most of the basketball world thinks that LeBron James got Carmelo Anthony Rookie of the Year trophy at home. Just from optics. The team won. Western Conference was a lot harder. You okay, brother?
Oh shit, he coughing up there. We don't have to harp on this because he just sounded like he finna just go in on George Karl. But I just.
So the subject is Carmelo Anthony being overrated. I hope it's not the best 15.
No, we don't have to get into that. I just wanted.
We
to put
can.
that out there. I wanted to put that out there, and just a quick basketball aside. Have y'all seen what other friend of the show Scottie Pippen is doing? Him and Luke Longley and Horace Grant.
The tour. Yes.
Please no.
Love it.
Please.
I love it.
The theme is
please no.
telling the full story. The theme is telling all sides. The theme is getting in front of the narratives or being able to tell your truths and not letting the
new media,
the NBA of the world or the media sphere tell the story. So Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley are embarking on a no bull tour to share their perspective on the Last Dance story and their experiences playing with the Bulls in the 90s. Quote, a lot of people want to ask us about that bullshit documentary.
Double entendre.
Oh no.
Like that.
Oh shit.
Well, as you know me, I speak my mind. And it's going to be a no tour. Believe me, I tell you this. The X factor in the first three and the second three, I would have kicked Dennis Rodman.
Oh, my God.
A lot in that. Yeah. Come out and get the tickets, and you hear a lot. Yeah. Well.
Wow.
Oh, no. This is going to go one of one way. And this is not going to be a pretty ride. It's going to make for some reactions. It's not going to be a pretty ride. Oh, no. I am terrified. I am terrified.
Leashing back in, chat. There's so much to talk about, man.
Pivot in.
Pivot back in.
I'm going to pivot back. You got to know when to go out and come back in, man.
Oh, my God. That's why I pivot foot. You can always go back.
Yeah.
You can always spot up on the pivot.
Yeah.
You ain't got to always make a move.
But speaking of the old media,